Everyone that got here on time. Today we're going to be speaking about the Certified Automation Cybersecurity Expert or Specialist and why you should become one. This is a growing need in the marketplace, and it's an exciting time here for exida because this is something that we've been asked over and over for us to create. We finally have the right system, the right certification to present, and you are going to hear all about it today. My name is Ted Stewart. I am a Program Development and Compliance Manager for exida. I help manage the CFSE program with the administrators. My area of expertise is in availability, automation systems, manufacturing, and I play a very large role in lean process improvement. And before I get any further into this presentation, I'd like for the people that are still joining this webinar, there is a question toolbar or toolbox there. You may pull that out or ask questions as you see fit through this presentation. I'll answer them accordingly. If it's something where I can stop and answer, I will. If it's something I need to wait to the end, I'll answer that as well. Okay? Thanks a lot. I know there's a lot of newcomers on this call today, on this webinar, so I wanted to share a little bit of information about exida. We are a global company. We have many regional offices, many main offices. I am located in Sellerville, Pennsylvania, which is one of the corporate offices, and one of the exciting new offices that we opened recently is exida Japan. Here are a suite of our product and services that exida does offer. We range from consulting, engineering tools, product certification, training, reference materials, which we have the most functional safety reference materials out in the marketplace to date. And then also today we're going to be speaking on this category here, the professional certification category, the CACE, CACS. As you see here, many people are asking, well, how does it relate to CFSE? Well, actually CFSE is we'll call it the umbrella, right? And then within the CFSE program, there's different types of exams that you could take. And there's automotive, there's your CACE, your hardware, your machinery, process, which is a lot of people's favorite, and then software. And so we're going to go into the specialty of CACE, CACS, but I want to just make that clear that it is a specialty within the CFSE program. The difference we will go through, the differences with this type of an exam because it's not related to functional safety. And that's one of the newest things. This is cybersecurity. So why become a CACE, a CACS? Well, now this program, it can provide many benefits to you and your company. The CACE, CACS certification allows individuals to demonstrate their competency in a specialized field that is growing in a high demand. And as you can see here in front of you, I'll talk about those quotes there, but attaining this certification will make you a more valuable employee. It can open up those doors to career advancements. Or it can hold on to a job that you have at your current position. Many companies are now asking their employers to get such a certification to help protect their company from these detrimental losses and these security hacks. You can see here in front we have different quotes. You have from the Washington Post, cybersecurity experts needed to meet that growing demand. Even Villanova University, the growing need for cybersecurity professionals. One of the fun ones that I liked was from the IT governance. They said large pay increases for cybersecurity experts in 2015. So it is a very exciting time. It's a very exciting opportunity, I should say. And it's one that we do need to bring more awareness to many companies. Company awareness can help reduce the risk of infiltration and destruction. I kind of pulled up some instances that occurred in all aspects of cybersecurity. In recent news, just this week actually, internet users in China are dealing with a weird redirection of traffic nationwide. I don't know if you heard about this, but while accessing any website that makes use of connect.facebook.net resource, okay, that great firewall China that they're known for, is basically infamous for internet censorship by the Chinese government. It believes it has actually been intercepted. According to CNBC, I kind of want to say it's just an interesting thing, but even someone like our president here at the U.S., Barack Obama, his email was even hacked just recently. Now, let's get more to the automation world. What about that pipe explosion in Turkey? The explosion caused more than 30,000 barrels of oil to spill in an area above a water aquifer. This cost BP and its partners $5 million a day in transit tariffs during the closure. This actual incident was considered to be the first cyber warfare predating to Stuxnet. Another one of a different category was, Forbes. They also chimed in. They learned all about the Sony hack and how it can teach everybody about cybersecurity. It actually became a very interesting article of what they've learned with those information breaches. And then also you have, after the pipe explosion, you have from Computer World, they also commented on saying that the SCADA systems are saying that hackers exploit SCADA holes to take full control of critical infrastructure. So what does that mean? That means who is protecting your company? Who is the one that is going to have this awareness to help so that this doesn't happen to the people that you work for? Control system cybersecurity is an emerging, highly specialized field of engineering. The field of industrial automation and control system cybersecurity, it combines disciplines of basic control system engineering, risk assessment, safety system engineering, software platforms like Microsoft, industrial networking, and IT network security. All right, so what are the two differences really between becoming a CACE or a CACS? The CACE certification is targeted for engineers and control system administrators who are involved in establishing, designing, and implementing a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy for complex industrial controls, or SCADA, which, if you're not familiar with that acronym, it's the Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition Systems. The specialty allows these individuals to demonstrate their competency in leading and managing complex ICSs, which is industrial control systems. So these complex ICS cybersecurity programs, as well as evaluating and assessing the cybersecurity of existing ICS systems or systems design. Okay. What about, okay, that sounds all great, but what if I just want to get into this? I know a lot about cybersecurity. What if I want to do the not entry level, but the first level of a certification? And that would be the CACS, which is your specialty. The CACS certification is appropriate for engineers and technicians responsible for the design, installation, and commissioning and maintenance of industrial control or SCADA systems. The specialty, it allows these individuals to demonstrate their understanding and appreciation of IACS, which is the Industrial Automation and Control Systems, these cybersecurity principles and best practices as they apply to operating and maintaining the security of their industrial automation and control systems. So I hope that makes a little more sense. So now ask yourself this question. Do you want to become a certified automation cybersecurity expert? Or what about a certified automation cybersecurity specialist? We're now going to talk through this process, learn about the application process, and learn what it takes to become a leader in this industry. We'll also go through, because there are some differences from the traditional CFSE program, especially when we get to the exam part, that many of you should learn here. So first thing, if you want to be one, how do you know you're eligible? Let's take a look at the requirements for a CACS. A candidate that is applying for a CACS, now they must have a minimum of 2 years of safety-related experience. As you can see here from this chart in front of you, this experience doesn't have to be just professional experience, but can be school experience as well. So you see here, if you do have a bachelor's degree in engineering, that is enough requirement so that you could actually, if you feel confident, you could literally get out of college, with your degree and go ahead and take this test and you are eligible. So let's look at the CACE requirements. To become one, you'll need 10 years of experience. Did you meet those requirements? Notice that with a higher level of education, you may actually subtract the respective years from the 10-year minimum to qualify. For example, if you have your bachelor's degree in engineering, you may subtract 3 years from the 10-year requirement. As long as you have been in the field as an engineer for greater than 7 years, you will qualify. Let's say you have a PhD. Now you can subtract 6 years, and you only need 4 years of experience. See how that works? Okay, great. Okay, so now that you understand the initial requirements, let's start looking at the application. The first step in becoming a CACE, CACS is to, well, fill out the application. We have been asked in the past, yes, the application, it will say when you pull up the application, it will state, CFSE at the top. This is the correct application. The application cover page confirms this statement, and as you see in the bottom left-hand corner there, where it says application form, this is what you'll see on that cover page, and it will say it's applicable for, and as you scroll down through that list, there's your CACE, CACS. Because why? The CFSE is actually the umbrella. It's the top, and then everything within there are the different types of exams and for the different types of standards that are offered for this certification. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please let me know, and I'll help clean that up as well. So this application is a 4-page application. It asks a lot of generic information. Some of the information that you'll see on there is, what exam are you going to take? Are you going to take the CACE, the CACS, or what if you just want to take the process exam? It's going to ask you for personal information, like your name, address. It's going to want to know your education, your professional experience, and then also your professional references. We call these referee statements, which are basically referrals saying that you are somebody that should be taking this type of an exam. And this person signing a name saying, I feel confident that they should be taking this exam. So now once you've finished, you can email the CFSE administrators, and that's right, there's no reason anymore to send anything via the post office, the postal service. You may email everything. This has drastically helped our candidates, our applicants, and even our administrators keep everything organized, and this was a very great thing. So anything that you have, you may scan the copy of the documents and email them to the admin. You see it there, admin at exidacfse.com. Quick comment that when you go through the application, you're going to notice the education portion of the application. Many people ask us about the transcripts and if they must request these from their respective universities. The short answer, no, you don't have to. You may actually just simply scan a copy of your diploma and send it electronically, which is a lot easier. So now once the applicant's application, it gets sent to the administrators. It is then filtered into our database and then into the tracker system. Okay, we call it the CFSE and CFSP tracker system. That is still the right system for you. All right, the administrators will then send a welcome email to the applicant when all information has been received and they have approved and made you eligible to take the exam. So if you don't see a welcome email, there might have been something wrong with your experience level or the information that you sent in, and therefore they'll email you at that time and let you know, hey, look, can you prove this? Can you show me this? Okay. So now once you do get approved and you are qualified, a candidate will now be given a username and a password for this tracker system. A candidate sends in their application. The tracker will be updated to show the items that are now complete and which ones are outstanding. All right, and I'll show you what that looks like here in the next slide. But just a quick helpful tip, you may sit an exam with an incomplete application. However, you will not be given your results until the application is complete. That's very important to know. You can sit it, no problem. If it's a rush and your employee just said, hey, I need you to sit this exam, please take this, you can go ahead and do so. You can get the application afterwards. Just remember, your results will not be given. And then I do want to do another quick note. If you're using an account such as Gmail or Hotmail to communicate with our administrators, please, please, please place that email or their email in your safe sender list so it doesn't get to junk and it doesn't get blocked. So here's the view that one would see when they log into their CFSE or CFSP tracker system. And in your case, if you were taking the CACE, CACS, this would be what you see as well. All right. Notice that the candidate can immediately see if anything is outstanding. The tracker system will be updated when items are received from the candidate. This is still a manual process. This is something we are trying to make automatic, but until then, it is a manual process, so do allow one or two business days after sending in information for this to be updated. And notice that once you do send things in, you can immediately see what's outstanding. The tracker system will be updated once the information is received, like I said, and when all the fields are complete, you will be able to receive your exam results as soon as the exam is graded. All right, so that's very exciting. You'll see there everything there looks complete. You can see the referee names, and this was for a CACS because you only need 2 referees. If it was a CACE, you would need 4 referee statements there. Now, and I know I said this before, but if you were to take the exam prior to these being complete, that exam does get set aside and it's not released until that application is fully complete. It just makes sense. And it is the responsibility of the candidate to confirm that his or her application is complete. And this tracker system, it is constantly improving. It's getting better and better. So if you do see something that you would like an improvement on, I always say please email us. Let us know if you have a great idea, and we'd love to take a look at that at our next status meeting with our advisors. Okay, now that you understand the application, let's talk about the exam and the exam process. Okay. This is when it gets fun. There are 6 different exam types, as you know. Today we're talking about the CACE, CACS. If I were taking this type of exam, there are 2 items that I would personally purchase. The ISA 99, or if some of you are familiar with this field, you know the 99 is going away, but it's going to be an IEC standard. So let's just say the ISA 62443 standard, and then also the NIST, the NIST Cybersecurity framework. Those are 2 very valuable items that should be in your possession, in my opinion, I should say. Now, once you have this exam selected, when the exam day comes, to better prepare yourself, you always want to bring that one form of identification. You can bring a pen or a pencil, whatever's more comfortable for you, because both are accepted. You need to bring a non-programmable electronic calculator. You may bring reference materials, and I'll go through more of this on another slide, so you don't have to worry about it right now. But another thing is, people forget, bring comfortable clothes. It's okay. You don't have to come to this exam dressed in a suit. I would wear comfortable clothes, and because you are going to be sitting there for either 4 or 6 hours taking this exam. One other thing, and I'll speak a little bit more, but arrive 20-30 minutes early prior to the exam start date. This way, if there's any questions that pop up or there's some paperwork you want to fill out, and another reason that I like getting there early is because it eases your mind. You relax when you're driving, when you're traveling. Little things will maybe irk you and build up tension that's not needed. So you want to relax. And when you're taking your exam, like I said, there's more slides where I can talk more about this, but don't be afraid to write on that test. If questions seem unclear, you are permitted to explain the answer you choose. If you select an answer that isn't correct, but you show your justification, the grader, and you can show them why you chose the answer you did, you may still get points due to your justification, even if that multiple choice question was supposed to be C and you put B. Okay, now let's talk about the exam format. The first one is the CACS. It's 4 hours. Okay, it's only one session. It's normally in the morning. This examination consists of multiple choice questions. That's it. All right, no short answer, no case studies, multiple choice questions. How many? 60 multiple choice questions, 4 hours. Okay, we'll go through the times later, and you need a minimum score of 80% to pass. What about the CACE exam format? Total of 6 hours, 4 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. 100 multiple choice questions. Notice though, if you were to take like the process exam for the CFSE, there's 50 questions, then you have multiple choice, then you have a case study. This is a little bit different. When we go into the cybersecurity world, it made more sense to do multiple choice questions. And so that is what we did. We have a 6-hour exam, 100 questions. You'll get 60 questions in the morning, and you'll get 40 questions in the afternoon. In order to pass this exam, once again, you'll need a 60%. Now that you have selected, the exam type, you know how the exam is going to be operated. I went through this already once. I kind of want to talk on it again, but here are just some helpful items that will help you when you do it. Is bring that non-programmable calculator. Have it. You probably won't need it, but just have it anyways, just to be prepared. The standards that you'll need, you'll see here the list of them. We're mainly focused with the bottom there, the ISA 62443 and the NIST Cybersecurity Framework. And another thing that's an important note that I know people have had issues with in the past is bring your own documentation, bring your own manuals, bring your own standards. You're not allowed to share, and that was some confusion when we did have an exam with, there was an exam where multiple people came from the same company. They just figured, well, I'll just take a company copy and I'll use it, for the exam. Well, they only had one company copy, and so who gets it? They only brought it once. So bring your own. Don't run into that situation because it will not be. You'll probably lose a few friends if you don't get that. If you choose the document. What items can you not bring? Well, you can't bring a laptop. You can't bring a computer. Mobile phones. We like you to just at least keep them on silent or turned off in your pocket. Don't bring that phone out. Programmable calculators are not allowed. And if we see any kind of notes that appear to be exam questions, or if we're skeptical about where that information came from, it can be confiscated and it could hurt you with your exam, could forfeit your exam. So the permitted items, anything that you can buy on the web, any textbook, anything that's published, let's say that, and it's publicly available, you can have that. Even if you were to take, there's a bunch of different training courses out there. If you were to take a training course, go ahead, you can bring that material in, and even we can say, you can bring the study guide. Now, for the CACE, CACS, that study guide is in the works. It is not yet available. However, what is available already is we have online training for cybersecurity. And from what I've heard, it's a very informative training, and it has been extremely successful. So we talked a little bit about the exam preparation. There's you can see here, you bring a passport or your driver's license. Important thing to note, candidates will not be admitted to the examination after the announcements have been given. This is not trying to be mean. This is really, we know that there can be issues commuting, and traveling, hitting traffic. However, for those candidates that plan ahead and allowed enough time to sit the exam, we do not want distractions for those candidates. I feel like it's only right. It's how, if you were to get a PE, they do the same thing. They actually lock the doors. You're not allowed in there. So if you do miss the exam, because heaven forbid, things do happen, and sometimes it's unavoidable, we will allow you to pick a new date. So there's no penalty with that. So if all of a sudden you can't make it, it's not the end of the world. We'll let you pick a new date, and you can move on from there. So what does a typical day look like? Well, here's your administration times. Okay, for the CACS in the morning, 8:30 to 9, you sign in. From 9 to 1, the entire CACS exam occurs. Okay, it's only one session. Then there's a lunch, and then the second part is the CACE. So the morning, I did fail to say, is you do the entire exam for CACS in the morning, and you do the first session for CACE in the morning. Then after lunch, only the CACEs come back and for 2 hours, and they do the second part of the exam. Okay, great. Let's just pretend, okay, you took the exam, everything went well. So now what about the grading process? Now the exam preparation and exam taking is finished. So the proctor will package the exams and mail them to the corporate office. Your exam is now graded. Okay, there's 2 graders that will be assigned for this specific exam. The graders do not know anything about the candidate. All they can see is this candidate ID number. This help keeps our graders impartial. And this is one thing that we do have to stress. That's why the process is a little elaborate. It's because we follow a certain standard. So these graders also cannot be this proctor, nor can they be the trainer. The CFSE program is extremely strict when it comes to keeping trainers and graders separate. Why? Because we follow the ANSI IACS 17024 standard. If a trainer were allowed to grade an exam, this could create a conflict of interest. Okay? Now, if you think about it, if a program gives a training and then it gives an exam from the training material, wouldn't you feel that they aren't necessarily an expert or a professional or a specialist in their field just because they can answer questions from a training they were given off a 4-day course? What is that called? There's nothing wrong with that, but that's called a certificate program. And that's one of the biggest, I'd say, misuse of words I've seen around the industry is a certification compared to a certificate. Now, exida does have a certificate program. It's the Functional Safety Practitioner, FSP, right? Which relates very much with all the other certificate programs out there. However, with the certification in cybersecurity, there are 1 or 2 true certifications, one being CISSP, and now you do have the CACEs and the CACSs, which are true certifications. All right, let me go back to this grading process. Sorry, I got on a tangent there. Once the first grader looks through your exam and reads all of your comments, he assigns a score and gives that exam back to the administration. Then the administration takes that exam and sends it off to the second grader. Okay, this grader can be anywhere in the world. We have many different graders who participate and help us. Okay, so it goes to the second grader. As long as when it comes back from the second grader, the scores are the same. If there's any discrepancies, we pull in a third grader to iron out these discrepancies to make sure our candidate gets the fairest score possible. Okay, so now it's finished. The administrations have everything. The application is complete. It's updated in this tracker system, and the results are sent out. Woohoo! All right, so I'd like to make this statement again, though, because if you start losing contact with our administrators, it could be because of the email. It could be Gmail or Hotmail. So please make sure you put it on the safe sender list, because I know how very frustrating, in my opinion, it would be to be waiting for results and to have my email provider block that administrator's email solely because it was sent to my spam or junk folder. So what do you see next? You get the certificate. All right. Now this is just my CFSP. I took the process exam certificate. I will be taking the CFSE this year. However, I did not have the experience needed at that point when I took this. You will get something similar. However, it will be a CACE or CACS certificate showing your certification. And that would be it. That is now, we're at the point now where we're looking for questions. I have a few that popped up during our discussion, so I'm going to go ahead and start answering those. And if you think of some more, please go ahead and send them in. And even after I answer all of these questions, if for any fact that you think of something afterwards, I put my personal email there that you can email me some questions, and I'll answer those as soon as possible. Oh, and then finally, all the questions that are asked at this webinar and this morning's webinar, I will send all of the answers to the questions in an email. I'll make a PDF so that you can have them all on file, just in case you had a similar question and you weren't thinking about it. So the first question I have here is, let's read it here. Is there a prerequisite to take the CACE or CACS? For example, do I have to be a CFSE or CFSP to take this exam? Good question. The answer is no. There's no prerequisites other than the ones that we spoke of as far as the experience level and filling out the application and getting the correct number of references in for a CACE. You need 4 references. For a CACS, you need 2. And there's more instructions on the website, as you see in front of you, exida.cace.com. You can go there and get all the other instructions. But no, short answer is you do not need any other prerequisites as being, do I need to be a CFSE or CFSP? Good question. That is actually just the umbrella, the CFSE program, and then within it's a specialty. So I hope that it's a little more clear. If I would like access to this online training, where can I go? All right, well, that's a good question. The best thing to do to reach this online training is to go to the exida website, and under exida Academy, you'll see the field where you can actually select this cyber training online program. Another thing that you could do is you could email our training lead, C. Lindy at exida.com. She is the one that will help you. She's phenomenal to deal with, so you'll have a great experience there. And if you would like, you can email me first, and then I'll make sure that I get the emails to the correct people as well. Okay, got another question coming in here. I'm very much interested in the study guide. When will that be ready? That's a great question. We do not have a target date as of yet. It is in the works. It'll be very much like the training material that we have, or the study guide material that we have out there for the process exam and the machinery exam. This will obviously be in cybersecurity. It is in the works. What I recommend people do is let me know. I say to put your name on the exida mailing list, because those people get first-hand information when new releases are coming out, when, say for instance, this training is going to have a target date, when that's going to happen, and that's when you'll get all the new information if you're looking for something. Great question, by the way. Okay, I got another question here. If I'm new to the industry, which exam do you recommend I take? Well, if you're new to the industry, I would assume that you don't have too many years of safety or cybersecurity knowledge. Just by your question, you may. I don't want to speak less of that, but I'd say if you're almost new to it, look for even a certificate program. You might not even want to try and venture to the CACS level, because even though it's considered an entry, it's still a certification. So what does that mean? That basically means a certification is something to where you don't need a training. You could sit down and take this exam and you'd still pass without a refresher course. A certificate program is where you take this exam based off of the training that you were taught on. Okay, so there's your big difference there. But if you still would like to take it, I would recommend the CACS. Good question. Okay, we got one other question. Let's see here. Let me read it here. If I am already a CFSE in process, I also am an FS-Eng for TUV Rhineland, should I consider taking the CACE? Well, that's a personal thing. So what I heard you say is you're a CFSE, which is a certification. You're an FS-Eng, which is a certificate program with Rhineland. Okay, so that was good. I would think you probably did the TUV one first, since that's a certificate program, and then you wanted more experience, so you went for the CFSE, and now you're looking for the CACE. Well, the only reason I would say for you to go for the CACE is if that's in your profession, because it is completely different from functional safety. So if you are familiar with cybersecurity and you wear that many hats, absolutely, I think that would be incredible, and I would fully recommend it. Good question. Okay, that is all the questions that I see here in front of me. If you need anything, the reference materials, all the books, it's all right there. If there's something that you cannot find, please use my personal work email here, tstewart@exida.com. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. All of these great questions that were asked today and this morning's session, I will formulate into one PDF document and send out to you. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Take care for now.